Every major railroad in America depended on coal, sweat, and a web of thousands of towers. Yet by 1939, that power was failing. Men were shoveling 10 tons of fuel a day just to keep steam alive, and whole cities were suffocating under black clouds. Then came a freight engine that ran nearly 84,000 miles across the country without a single chargeable failure, stunning railroad managers. But how did this new machine, the so-called diesel beast, overthrow an entire era of American industry so completely? The answer begins with the crisis no one could ignore. A steam locomotive at full throttle devours coal and water with an appetite that never ends. Every mile demands sweat. Firemen shovel up to 10 tons of coal in a single day, their faces streaked with soot and shirts soaked through before noon. The cab is a furnace, alive with heat and noise, while the engineer strains to keep the machine moving. Crews work in pairs, sometimes with extra hands for oiling and repairs, but the burden stretches far beyond the tracks. Across the country, thousands of water towers and coaling stations stand as silent sentinels, waiting for engines that must stop again and again just to survive the journey. Railroads pour money into this web of support. Maintenance crews patch boilers, replace worn flues, and clean out ash pits, often working through the night. In the cities, thick black smoke drifts between buildings, settling on laundry and lungs alike. The cost is everywhere, in the endless labor, the mountains of coal, and the haze that chokes the air. Every train that moves forward leaves behind a trail of spent men and spent resources. As best the 1930s draw to a close, the weight of steam is no longer just a technical challenge, it is a crisis pressing down on every railroad in America. In late 1939, a new kind of locomotive began to appear on American rails. The EMD F3 demonstrator set, painted in unassuming olive and cream, started a journey that would cover 83,764 miles in just 11 months. Railroads from Baltimore to Los Angeles watched as the 4-unit diesel pulled heavy freight through mountain passes and across endless plains, running day and night with barely a pause. Dispatchers logged the results, not a single chargeable failure. On the Santa Fe, the FT made 12,871 miles in only 32 days, climbing Cajon Pass without helpers and rolling through desert heat without stopping for water or coal. Crew reports spoke of quiet cabs, instant throttle response, and the strange absence of smoke and ash. A Milwaukee road conductor, after a 50-mile stretch, noted the engine was still not breathing hard. Railroad executives rode along, checking logs and fuel sheets, and left with new calculations in mind. The numbers told a simple story: fewer stops, less fuel, longer runs, and less time out of service. Orders followed quickly. Santa Fe made the first move, placing a production order before the tour had even ended. Other roads sent telegrams or called meetings, some deciding on the spot. In boardrooms and roundhouses, the old doubts faded. The diesel had proven itself, not in theory, but mile after miles, in the hands of the men who would soon depend on it. Inside the streamlined shell of the EMD F3, power begins with the 16-cylinder 567B diesel engine. This prime mover produces 1,500 horsepower at 800 revolutions per minute, driving a direct current generator, most commonly the D14 in production units. Electricity flows from the generator to 4 traction motors, each mounted on the axles of the Blumberg B trucks below. The result is smooth, continuous power delivered straight to the rails with no need for water stops or coal shoveling. The fuel tank beneath the frame holds 1,200 gallons, enough for long runs that would have left steam engines stranded. The technical leap is matched by a new experience for the engineer. The F3 cab is quiet, insulated from the roar of the prime mover by layers of steel and soundproofing. The operator's seat is wide and padded, set in front of a simple control stand. Throttle, transition lever, and brake handles are laid out within easy reach, with gauges for generator load and engine speed clearly labeled. Instead of wrestling with levers or bracing against heat, the engineer can focus on the track ahead. Multiple unit control, MU control wiring, allows a single operator to command several F3 units coupled together, each responding instantly to the same set of controls. Where steam required a team, the F3 hands the future to one person, guiding thousands of horsepower with a few measured movements. Diesel shops approach their work with a new rhythm. Where a steam locomotive overhaul could tie up a roundhouse for days, an F3 generator or engine module could be swapped in under 4 hours. Shop crews rolled pre-assembled units on wheeled cradles, sliding them into place through removable side panels, then bolted everything down with standardized patterns. A foreman from the Pennsylvania Railroad described it as changing out a heart, not rebuilding the whole body. The difference was felt in every timetable and balance sheet. With each F3, railroads gained a machine built for rapid recovery. Downtime measured in hours, not shifts. Behind the scenes, EMD planners mapped a support network that stretched from coast to coast. By 1950, a railroad needing a replacement part or field repair was never more than a day away from help. Regional depots in Chicago, Los Angeles, Atlanta, and more than a dozen other cities kept shelves stocked with engines, generators, and traction motors, all ready for immediate exchange. EMD Logistics, backed by General Motors' distribution muscle, meant a failed component did not sideline a train for long. Competitors struggled to match this reach. Baldwin and Alco relied on scattered regional shops and slower supply chains, leaving railroads to wait for shipments or improvise repairs. The F3 modular design only mattered because the parts were always close at hand. The promise of a quick turnaround gave railroads the confidence to invest in fleets. As the network grew, so did the sense that diesel power was not just an experiment, but a new standard for American railroading. Railroad marketing teams seized on the diesel revolution, transforming the EMD F3 into a rolling canvas for corporate identity. 7 distinct paint schemes swept across the country, each one designed to capture the public's imagination and announce a new era. The Santa Fe's war bonnet livery, with its bold red nose outlined in yellow and silver, became an instant icon, featured on magazine covers and in newsreel footage. Pulling the Super Chief and El Capitan through the Southwest, the Pennsylvania Railroad's Tuscan Red with gold cat whiskers, New York Central's Lightning Stripe in cool grays and white, and the Great Northern's Empire Builder Orange and Green all turned locomotives into moving advertisements. Southern Railway's deep green and imitation aluminum, Burlington's dramatic grayback with a red nose, and Baltimore and Ohio's royal blue and gold completed the spectrum. Advertisements declared the diesel that did it, promising speed, comfort, and modernity. For millions, these colors were not just paint, they were the new face of progress, racing past at trackside and in every railroad magazine. On August 10, 1953, Southern Railway's Asheville line ran its last steam-powered freight. That night, managers made the call, steam engines were pulled from service, and F3 diesel units took their place before dawn. By sunrise, the old helper districts and water towers that once defined mountain railroading were silent. The F3s climbed the Blue Ridge with no stops for coal, no need for extra crews, and no clouds of black smoke curling over the valleys. For the men who ran them, the change was undeniable. Years later, a retired engineer recalled that he used to sweat coal out of his shirt on a 12-hour trip. With the diesel, he could lash up 3 units himself and get across the mountains without stopping. Today, the low hum of a preserved F3 still lingers in museum halls, a sound that connects past to present. Its shape and spirit echo in every modern locomotive hauling freight across the continent. The same modular design, the same streamlined nose, the same promise of reliability are all still at work. The F3 did not just end the age of steam, it wrote the blueprint for what came after. For those who witnessed Dieselization Day, it was the moment the future arrived. and the rails would never be the same. Today, freight still runs on the DNA of this machine: modular, efficient, and standardized. As railroads chase automation and sustainability, the F3's blueprint remains embedded in every modern locomotive. Progress rewrites the landscape, but the logic that once conquered steam now drives the future. Thanks for watching.